My sister Chloe always had this knack for making me feel small, like I was a forgotten toy she'd found in the back of her closet. Growing up, she was the golden child, straight A's, captain of the debate team, and dating the high school quarterback. I was me, the quiet one, the bookworm, the girl who preferred sketching in her notepad to going to parties. Our parents, bless their hearts, just couldn't help but beam with pride over Chloe. Every trophy she won, every award she received, was a family celebration. My small victories, like winning a local art contest, were met with a polite, "Oh, that's nice, dear." The dynamic didn't change as we got older. Chloe went to a prestigious university, got a high-powered job, and married her college sweetheart Mark. They bought a beautiful house in the suburbs, complete with a white picket fence. Soon after, my nephew Leo arrived, followed by my niece Maya. They were the picture-perfect family, a living, breathing Christmas card. I, on the other hand, took a different path. I moved to the city, sharing a cramped apartment with 2 roommates and pouring every ounce of my energy and meager savings into my art. I worked as a barista by day and painted by night, my canvases filling every spare inch of my tiny room. Family gatherings became a minefield. Chloe would parade her perfect life, while I'd try to blend into the wallpaper. My parents would ask me, with concerned looks, when I was going to settle down. Settle down. I felt like I was just getting started, finally building a life that felt authentically mine. But to them, my passion was just a hobby, a phase I needed to grow out of. They couldn't understand why I'd choose struggling in the city over the comfortable, predictable life Chloe had chosen. The breaking point came during our annual family Christmas dinner. The house was filled with the smell of roasted turkey and pine needles. The kids were running around, their laughter echoing through the halls. I'd just arrived, feeling a bit frazzled from the train ride. Chloe greeted me at the door with a hug that felt more like an assessment. "Amelia! You made it. You look tired." She scanned my outfit, a simple black dress I'd thought was elegant. Still rocking that starving artist look, I see. I forced a smile. "It's good to see you too, Chloe." Dinner was the usual interrogation. "How's the coffee-making business, Amelia?" my dad would ask, a little too loudly. "Still painting those pictures?" my mum would add, her voice trailing off as if she couldn't quite remember what I did. I'd answer their questions politely, trying to steer the conversation to something, anything else. But Chloe wasn't having it. As dessert was being served, she raised her glass. "A toast," she announced, "to family." Everyone raised their glasses. She looked directly at me, a smirk playing on her lips. "And to all of us being here together, Mark, my wonderful husband, Leo and Maya, my beautiful children." She paused for dramatic effect, her eyes glinting. "It's so nice when we're all here. Amelia, where's your husband and kids to join the toast? Oh, that's right." She let the words hang in the air, a cruel, deliberate silence. "You don't have any." The room fell silent for a heartbeat before my parents let out a nervous chuckle. It wasn't a mean laugh, but it was worse. It was a laugh of pity, of agreement. The sound shattered something inside me. All the years of feeling second best, of being misunderstood and dismissed, came crashing down. Tears pricked my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. Not here, not in front of them. I placed my napkin on the table, my hands trembling slightly. "You know what, Chloe?" I said, my voice quiet but steady. "You're right. I don't have a husband or kids. I have a 1-bedroom apartment that smells like turpentine. I have calluses on my hands from serving coffee 8 hours a day. I have stacks of canvases leaning against my wall that are my hopes and my dreams. And I wouldn't trade it for anything, not for a picket fence, not for a husband who makes condescending jokes, and certainly not for the approval of people who think my life is a punchline." I stood up, my chair scraping against the floor. The shock on their faces was almost comical. I looked at my parents. "I love you both, but I can't do this anymore. I can't sit here and be the family joke." Without another word, I grabbed my coat and walked out the door, leaving them in stunned silence. The cold night air hit my face, and for the first time, I felt a sense of freedom. I didn't cry on the train ride home. I felt a fire ignite within me. They wanted to see what I was made of. Fine, I would show them. The next 2 years were a blur of relentless work. I quit my barista job and took on freelance graphic design work, which paid better and gave me more time to paint. I poured all the hurt, the anger, and the fierce determination I felt into my art. My style became bolder, more vibrant. I painted not what I thought people wanted to see, but what I felt. I started submitting my portfolio to galleries, bracing myself for rejection. And the rejections came, one after another. But that Christmas dinner echoed in my mind. Chloe's mocking voice became my fuel. Then one day I got an email. It wasn't a rejection. It was from a small but respected gallery in the art district. They wanted to see my work in person. I was terrified and exhilarated. I spent a week preparing, carefully selecting my best pieces. The gallery owner, a sharp woman named Ms. Dubois, walked around my displayed canvases in silence. My heart pounded in my chest. Finally, she stopped in front of a large, abstract piece bursting with color and raw emotion, a piece I'd painted the week after I walked out on my family. "This," she said, pointing at the canvas, "this has a soul. I'll give you a solo exhibition." I nearly fainted. A solo exhibition was the dream of every artist. The next few months were a whirlwind of preparation. The opening night arrived, and the gallery was packed. I was a nervous wreck, hiding in a corner, watching people study my work. Then I saw them, my parents and Chloe, standing hesitantly by the entrance. Chloe was holding a bouquet of flowers. They looked so out of place. My mom spotted me, and her eyes filled with tears. They slowly made their way through the crowd. "Amelia," my mom whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "This is incredible. We had no idea." Chloe stepped forward, avoiding my gaze. I'm sorry, Amelia," she mumbled, thrusting the flowers at me. "I was a jerk. I was jealous." I was stunned. "Jealous? Of what? You have everything." She finally looked at me, and I saw a flicker of something I'd never seen in her eyes before: vulnerability. "Do I? I followed the script, Amelia. The perfect school, the perfect job, the perfect family. I did everything I was supposed to do. But you built this, all of this, by yourself, for yourself. You were brave enough to choose your own happiness." That night, standing in a room full of my creations, surrounded by people who saw their value, I finally understood. Success isn't a one-size-fits-all checklist. It's not about having a husband, 2 kids, and a house in the suburbs. It's about building a life that feels true to you, even if no one else understands it at first. My journey was different from my sister's, but it was mine. And as I looked around the gallery, at the culmination of all my hard work and sacrifice, I knew I wouldn't have it any other way. My parents finally saw me, not as the daughter who was falling behind, but as the artist who had found her own way. And that was the best Christmas gift I could have ever received. Thank you so much for watching and for being a part of this story. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more videos. See you in the next one.